Just last night, the Federal Bureau of Prisons announced that the first federal inmate has tested positive for COVID-19. According to the agency, the inmate remains in isolation at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, and other inmates he was housed with are being quarantined as well. With me now is Patrisse Cullors. She's the founder and chair of Reform LA Jails and co-founder of Black Lives Matter. And MSNBC correspondent Trymaine Lee is also the host of NBC's Into America podcast. Thank you both so much for being with us. Patrisse, what's the core concern for prisoners at a time when you have a pandemic sweeping through this country?
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I think, the core concern for people who are incarcerated right now across the country is the lack of access to adequate health care that happened before COVID-19 broke out. And now that we're in this pandemic, the current lack of health care that will inevitably create the pandemic inside of prisons. And so that is a central issue that we should all be deeply concerned about.
Patrisse, you spoke with a woman whose brother is serving a 28-year sentence at a prison in Delano, California. What is her primary concern?
That her brother is going to be impacted, that he is not going to be able to get home in the ways that he should, that he may, in fact, die inside that prison. Unfortunately, prisons are opaque. There's not a lot of transparency. And so while people are not allowed to visit their loved ones, we don't really know what's going on inside.
Trymaine, the Wall Street Journal had some reporting on this. I want to read it to you. There have been no reported major outbreaks yet, but experts fear the coronavirus could overwhelm correctional facilities, particularly because there are more inmates than ever in the older demographic that is at greater risk. Is our prison system equipped to handle an outbreak?
Certainly not. When you think about our prison population, 2.2 million people, the United States is the leading jailer across the entire world. And with prisoners spread across the country in kind of a vast network of facilities, many like Rikers Island, which people have been complaining about for a very long time and have pushed the city to erect plans to actually shut it down. We say that there has been no major outbreak, but the number in New York City went from 1 to now we have dozens, including people who are jailed as well as correctional officers. And so once any kind of disease or infection gets into these spaces with an already aging population, folks who are already coming from marginalized communities, what we're looking at, quite frankly, could be a nightmare.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.